Hi, my name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, personal finance, and why some people unknowingly lose thousands of dollars every year while others seem to keep theirs perfectly safe. You know, it's shocking how $10,000 can just slip through your fingers without you even realizing it, and most Americans quit noticing after the first few hundred here and there. Hidden subscription fees are one of the sneakiest ways Americans lose money every year without even realizing it, and it happens to millions of people because the way these services are set up makes them almost invisible. At first glance, many people sign up for a free trial or a monthly service thinking they will remember to cancel later or that the charge is insignificant. But what ends up happening is that these small recurring payments pile up over months and years. Sometimes these subscriptions are as low as $5 or $10 per month, which seems trivial. But if you do the math, $5 a month over a year is $60. Multiply that by several forgotten subscriptions, and suddenly you're losing hundreds of dollars a year. And that's just one person. Now imagine across the entire population, these small fees add up to tens of thousands of dollars per household, and most people never even notice because they are automatic withdrawals from checking accounts or linked credit cards, and they blend in with other monthly payments. People often underestimate the impact because they focus only on big expenses like rent, utilities, or groceries, and ignore these tiny charges, which are deceptively easy to forget. Another problem is that many subscription services make it intentionally difficult to cancel the accounts. They use confusing interfaces, obscure cancellation buttons, or automatic renewals that go unnoticed. And this is why it's so easy for the money to disappear silently. And the psychology behind it is interesting. Humans have a tendency to ignore small, repeated losses because they don't feel as painful as one big purchase. And our brains are wired to discount tiny amounts over time, which is exactly what these companies rely on. And it's not just entertainment subscriptions like Netflix or Hulu, but also software applications, cloud storage services, online courses, memberships, even gym memberships. And sometimes people sign up for a one-time promotion and forget that the regular subscription fee will start next month. So the impact compounds silently. One of the most effective ways to fight this is to audit your bank statements and credit card charges monthly and list every subscription service you are paying for, and then ask yourself which ones you actually use and which ones are unnecessary. Many people are shocked to discover old accounts from years ago still charging them even after they stopped using the service. Another tip is to use budgeting apps that can automatically detect recurring payments and alert you to ones you may have forgotten about. And these apps make it much easier to cancel and use subscriptions quickly without the hassle of digging through emails or logging into multiple accounts. Some people even schedule a quarterly subscription review as a ritual to make sure no new fees sneak in unnoticed, and it becomes a habit to track and cut off any services that are no longer providing value. It's also worth noting that some credit cards offer tools to manage subscriptions and can help you see which recurring charges are being billed every month. This proactive approach can prevent hundreds or even thousands of dollars from disappearing over a few years, and the emotional relief that comes from regaining control over your own money is significant. It reduces anxiety and gives a sense of mastery over your finances. And honestly, noticing these small fees can be eye-opening because once you see how much you've been losing, it motivates you to pay closer attention to all areas of spending because the principle applies broadly. Hidden costs exist everywhere, and subscription fees are just one of the most common and easiest to fix. Once you cancel what you don't use and monitor the remaining ones consistently, the lost money stops compounding. It's also a good idea to consider consolidating services or switching to annual plans, which often come with discounts rather than monthly charges. This reduces the number of recurring payments you have to track and makes it less likely something slips through unnoticed. And overall, the lesson here is that tiny charges matter over time, and taking control of your subscriptions is one of the simplest ways to reclaim thousands of dollars annually without changing your lifestyle drastically, because every dollar saved from forgotten fees is a dollar that can go towards savings, investments, or paying off debt. And it starts with awareness, paying attention to what leaves your account each month, and making a habit of auditing and canceling unnecessary subscriptions is the single most effective step to stop this silent drain. And once you do it, the results are immediate, satisfying, and often surprisingly large. Small daily purchases are one of the most underestimated ways Americans unknowingly lose thousands of dollars every year. And the problem is that these purchases feel insignificant at the time and barely register in the mind. So people continue doing them without thinking about the long-term impact. It could be a morning coffee that costs $5, a snack from the vending machine, a quick lunch at a fast food joint, or even small impulse buys on Amazon or other online stores. And individually, none of these expenses seem like much. But if you add them up over days, weeks, and months, the total can quickly reach into the thousands. The psychology behind it is fascinating because humans are wired to minimize the impact of small losses. Our brains see a $5 purchase as trivial and therefore don't trigger the same sense of financial pain that a larger purchase would. This is exactly why it's so easy for money to disappear silently over time. Studies have shown that Americans spend hundreds of dollars monthly on what they call small indulgences without fully realizing it, and this adds up to roughly $3,000 to $5,000 or more per year. And what makes it worse is that it is habitual. Many people do it automatically without thinking. For example, grabbing a coffee on the way to work might be a comfort routine or a habit tied to social cues. Buying an extra snack at the store might be triggered by hunger or boredom. And shopping online is often triggered by algorithms showing products you didn't know you wanted. Each of these small purchases seems minor, but over a year, you may end up spending thousands on things that don't actually add value to your life. One way to visualize this is by imagining spending $10 a day on small items. Over 30 days, that's $300. Over a year, it's $3,650. And if you're like most people, you might have multiple such micro habits, multiplying the loss amount significantly. I deserve it. It's only a few dollars.